वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। 61st class. वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते।
वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते।
कारणशरीरं किम्
कारणशरीरं किम्
अनिर्वाच्य अनादि अविद्यारूपम्
अनिर्वाच्य अनादि अविद्यारूपम्
शरीरद्वयस्य कारणमात्रम्
शरीरद्वयस्य कारणमात्रं
सत्स्वरूपा ज्ञानम्
सत्स्वरूपा ज्ञानं
निर्विकल्पकरूपम्
निर्विकल्पकरूपं
यदस्ति तत् कारणशरीरम्
यदस्ति तत् कारणशरीरम्।
This is one of the important definition. Tattvabodha itself is a book of definition. That this definition of Karana Shariram is very important. Shariram, Shariram is responsible for Anubhava. Without Shariram, Anubhava experience is not possible. Therefore, here, Karana Shariram. Shariram is the therefore Anubhava. Karanatvat, therefore Karanam. It is the cause. It is the Karanam. And also, it is the reason for the Anubhava. Karanam for Anubhava also. Karanam for Anubhava through Shariram. Therefore, it is Karana Shariram. So, Anubhava Hetutvat Shariram, Karanatvat Karana Shariram. So, it is the cause and also it is a Shariram. Therefore, it is called Karana Shariram. So, Karana Shariram should not be mistaken for Atma. That is why Karana Shariram is discussed. Stola Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vitiriktaha. The definition of Atma. We saw Atma is different from all the Sharirat Trayam. Stula Shariram made of Panchamahabhuta and it is Satkarma, it is Karmajanyam and it is the Bhoga Ayatanam. It is the place, the tenement for experiencing Sukha, Dukkha. Similarly, this Sukshma Shariram, that is also not Atma. Why? Because it is Apanchikrata Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam Sat. That is also Karmajanyam. It is Bhoga Sadhanam. Therefore, Aham Atma na Stula Shariram na Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram has got all the Sapta Dasha Kala. Therefore, all the Indriyas, they are not me. Mano Buddhi Chitta Ahankar Naham. Aham na Buddhihi na Manaha na Indriyani Karmendriyani Jnanendriyani neither Prana Pancha Prana. Therefore, can I be a Karana Shariram? No. Karana Shariram. Karanam is cause, Shariram is body. Therefore Atma is not the body. And this Shariram is in the form of the cause. That's why it's called Karana Shariram. Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram. It is a cause for the two Shariram, which is Sukshma and Stula. So Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram. That is one description of Karana Shariram. This Shariram, Karana Shariram is the Karanam and the Karyam are the other two Shariram. Now, how to understand this Karana and Karya? So, Karya is that which is created. The product is called the Karya. And Karanam is that from which the Karya has come into effect. Therefore, the Karya or the product or the effect is that which is produced, which is created. And the cause which produces the effect is called Karanam. So, it is called really called creation. It is what we call as creation. Like a wood is there, the wood is there, and the carpenter from the wood he makes the table. Now, when the table is created, Carpenter did not add any material to the table. Table is there in the wood itself. He did not add any material. In fact, he did not create a table. So the same table was there in the form of the wood. Now he has changed the form of the wood into a table. Wood has got a form. Now the table also has got a form. And no new substance, external substance was added to the wood to convert it into a table. It is only a change of form. That is called creation. The change of form. And we say wood is the cause, table is the karya. The same thing with regard to gold also. The ornament. The ornament is created, nicely produced, nicely designed, created. But ornament is nothing but the gold. It is only the transformation of the form of the formless gold into a form, full gold, that is ornament. So, a form, giving a form is called a creation. Giving a form. A new form was given. In fact, the form also was there. It is there potentially in the substance, in the material, it is there. The table is there in the wood, potentially it exists. The ornament is there in the gold, potentially it exists. In what form? It was an unmanifest form. Avyakta rupena. Avyakta rupena asti eva. So, created, the so-called created is there in the unmanifest form in its very substance and material. So, therefore, what is creation then? And we say this is Karanam and that is Karyam. From the wood Karanam, the table Karya has come into existence. Table is there in the wood itself, in unmanifest form. It is there. So it is not something which is produced. Nobody can create even an ounce of new thing, new material. But then what is this Srishti, the creation is? Creation, really speaking, it is not something new is produced or created. Created is the manifestation of the unmanifest. The manifestation of the unmanifest is called creation. It's called utpatti, srishti. So you make an unmanifest manifest. That is called creation. The table unmanifest in the manifest wood. Now table has come into existence. We call it as a creation. So creation is nothing but unmanifest becoming manifest. That is called creation. Now that which is unmanifest form is what we call karanam, because when it becomes manifest, we call it as karyam. So, is there any difference between the karanam and karyam in terms of substance, in terms of material? This is wood. This, which is the product, the karya, the effect, is wood. Now it has come into manifest form. And the wood is also wood only. There is no difference. There is no difference between the substance. The substance is same. But the substance is an unmanifest form, then it is called karanam. When it manifests, then it is called karya. So, therefore, when it is unmanifest, then we call it as karana avastha. We call it as karana avastha. The vriksha, the huge tree, is in the form of, is in the unmanifest form, the seed. That is karana avastha. So potentially a huge tree with its huge trunk, branches, roots, leaves, everything is there in the seed, where in Karana Avastha. When it manifests, then we call it as Karya, and that is Karya Avastha. The tree is produced. The tree is not produced, the tree has come to manifest. So, therefore, a tree, really speaking, it is the manifestation of the unmanifest. The same thing can be applied to the Shariram also. This Sukshma and Sthula Shariram, they are the Karyam. They are the Karyam, that is, they are the they are the manifest form. They must have a cause in the unmanifest. They must have been existing as the unmanifest in their causal state, that is in Karana Avastha. Karya Avastha of the unmanifest is are these two Sharirams. They must be in the unmanifest state, Karana Avastha. That unmanifest state of these Sukshma Stula Shariram is called Karana Shariram. So, therefore, Karana Shariram is nothing but the unmanifest form of the Stula Sukshma Shariram. That is why it's called Karana Shariram. It is the cause, which is it is there in the unmanifest form. The unmanifest form of Sukshma Stula Shariram is Karanam. In Karanavastha, it is there. When it is in Karanavastha, will it have form? No. The tree, in the form of a seed, doesn't have form. The table, in the form of the wood, doesn't have form. In Karanavastha, anything in Karanavastha doesn't have Nama, Rupa. It doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a form. Similarly, here also, the Karana Shariram, when the Karana Shariram, which is the Karanam of the two Sharirams, which is the unmanifest form of the two Shariram, it doesn't have form. So, because it is not manifest, it is an unmanifest state. So, anything which is unmanifest, then it is Nirvikalpaka Rupam. It is having form. What form? Undifferentiated form. It doesn't have form really. Differentiated, Nirvikalpaka Rupam, no forms. Vikalpa means divisions, difference. Vikalpa. Savikalpa is having the difference. The differences are there. Our gross body is Savikalpa. Why? Because it has different parts are there, angas are there, the limbs are there. So Vikalpa. So and every part is distinct. So therefore this Stula and Sukshma Shariram, they are Vikalpa. Sukshma Shariram also, it is Savikalpa only. It is Sukshma Shariram, though you cannot see, but still it is Savikalpa because it has got all the 17 components. Therefore, Savikalpa. They have got they have got the differentiated forms. So, having differentiated forms, the Stula and Sukshma Shariram. What about the Karana Shariram? The existence of these two Sharirams, Sukshma and Stula, in unmanifest form, in the form of Karana Shariram, they exist in undifferentiated form. In the causal state, that is in the Karana Avastha, these two Shariram exist in undifferentiated form. Like the tree in unmanifest, undifferentiated form in the seed. So, therefore you cannot recognize. Because you cannot recognize, you cannot say it is not there. It is there. The causal state, in the avyakta avastha, these vikalpas are not available for our perception, for our indriya, because indriya itself came into manifest from this unmanifest. Then how can the indriya bring about the objectification of this unmanifest Karana Shariram, which is in Karana Avastha, unmanifest form, and doesn't have Vikalpa? Not possible. Therefore, we cannot say, so Karana Shariram not there, we cannot say. So, therefore, Because it is in the unmanifest form, it is undifferentiated. It is called nirvikalpaka rupa. Therefore, no vikalpas are there. No vikalpas are recognizable. Not say not there, they are not recognizable. They are not recognizable because indriyas, for indriyas it is out of scope. Indriyas cannot recognize. Indriyas cannot perceive. Therefore, what can be perceived? Only that which is available in the manifest form. In the Karya Avastha only we can recognize different parts of a thing. Different forms are there, therefore recognizable. In Karana Avastha it is not possible. Therefore, Karana Shariram is the Karanam of this two Shariram, and it is in unmanifest form, in the unmanifest form, in the form of undifferentiated. Unmanifest form of this two Shariram, and which is available in the undifferentiated form in the Karana Avastha. So, now Karana, this Karana Shariram, this Karana Shariram is technically called Avidya. This cause, the cause for this two Shariram, which is in undifferentiated form, is called Avidya. It's called Avidya. So, Avidya is a technical term. So, Avidya is that which is in undifferentiated Karana Avastha. That's called Avidya. It's a technical term. This Karana Shariram is also a matter only. Like Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram is also a matter only. It is also a matter only. Everything is matter. Therefore, the matter which is available in undifferentiated Karana Avastha is called Avidya. So, Avidya is a technical term. We use the word Avyaktam, we use the word Avidya, we use the word the Maya, Aksharam. So, in Shastram, all these words you will see. Maya is also Karana Avastha. Karana Avastha of the total. Maya is the Karana Avastha, that is Avyakta Rupa of the total. The Srishti. Avidya is at the individual. So, at the total, that which exists in Karana Avastha and manifest form is called Maya. At the individual level, it is called Avidya. So, Maya means that which is the unmanifest form of this manifest universe. Unmanifest, the unmanifest form of the manifest universe, which in the Karana Avastha is called Maya. And Maya is a cause. Maya is the Karanam for this Prapancha, for this universe to come to existence. It is the Karanam. Maya is the Karanam. And this manifest universe exists in potential form, exists in unmanifest form in Maya. So, Maya is the cause of the manifest universe. So, this is at the total level. It's the same thing at the individual level. The total and individual should be clear. A group of trees is called a forest, and the individual is a tree. So the group of trees, what is a forest? A forest is nothing but a group of trees. A class is nothing but a group of students. Individually, they are trees, they are students. So similarly, the causal matter of this entire prapancha is Maya. At the individual level, it is called Avidya. So Avidya is the unmanifest form of this two Shariram. And this Avidya, you ask, when did this Avidya begin? Avidya doesn't did not begin. It is anadi. It is beginningless. It is beginningless. It is beginninglessly existing. So avidya, which is the which is also a jada, which is there, it doesn't have beginning. It doesn't have beginning. So this karana shariram doesn't have a cause. That is why you have to stop there at karana shariram. What is the cause of the karana shariram? You cannot ask. When it doesn't have a cause, therefore it is anadi. What is the karanam of Bhagavan? Bhagavan is the karanam for this srishti. The entire prapancha has come from whom? From Bhagavan. So for the srishti, Bhagavan is the karanam. What is the karanam of Bhagavan? If Bhagavan is also a product, then who created Bhagavan? Somebody would have created. If that person is called Bhagavan, who created that person, that Bhagavan? That since he is also created, therefore somebody must be there above him. So it would go on and on. It's called regression. That's a problem. So therefore we have to stop somewhere where it is beginningless. This avidya is also anadi, because which is the cause for this to shariram is also anadi. Maya is anadi at the total. Similarly, avidya is anadi. Maya is anadi. Avidya is anadi. Maya is not the karanam for samsara. Avidya is the karanam for samsara. Because samsara only at the individual level. The total doesn't have samsara. The prapancha doesn't feel samsara. Who feels samsara? The only the individual. Why? Because he has got avidya. So, therefore, this karana shariram, which doesn't have any cause, therefore it is anadi. It is the cause for the other two shariram. It is the cause. So, karana shariram, karanam always exists in unmanifest form. And what is manifest is only these two shariram. So, the cause for this two shariram is there. It is always there. So, what is happening is manifest, unmanifest in cyclic form. In cyclic form, this manifest, unmanifest process goes on. From the causal body, from the causal matter, this from the avidya, which is anadi. Avidya was not born. From that avidya, these two sharirams manifest, and they go into manifest back into avidya. Again, it comes to manifest. That is a cycle. That is a cycle. In a cycle, you cannot know, you cannot find out the beginning. If it is a straight line, it's got a beginning. Our thinking is always in a linear form. That is how our human mind thinks. Human mind thinks in a linear form. So something is there means it must have been born. That is how we think. It must have been born, therefore it will be gone. So beginning and ending is the linear thinking. What about in a circle? Which is a starting point for the circle? A circle doesn't have a starting point. It is anadi, doesn't have end. So therefore, this avidya, which is anadi, it doesn't have karana. Therefore, doesn't have janma. It is not born. It is not born. And this avidya, therefore, this avidya is anirvachaniya. It is anirvachaniyam. It cannot be categorically defined. It cannot be categorically defined. That which cannot be categorically defined, this avidya, is called mithya. We have seen the word mithya before. Mithya is that which has dependent existence. It's called mithya. So, that which is mithya, you cannot dismiss it as non-existence, and also you cannot accept it as existence. So, a pot, say for example, a pot is a ghata. A ghata is made from the clay. Now, does the pot exist? Does the pot exist? You cannot say the pot exists. At the same time, you cannot say pot doesn't exist. When you say pot exists, I will ask, where is the pot? There is only clay. I can see only clay. Because when I touch the pot, I touch the clay. Every point of the pot is I feel it is only clay only. I don't see a pot because pot is nothing but a nama rupa given to the clay. Pot is not there. Really, pot is not there. It can hold water. I can store water. A clay cannot hold water. I'm thirsty. I want to drink water. Water is in the pot. Therefore, it cannot say it is doesn't exist. It has got existence. That is anirvachaniyam. Categorically cannot say, cannot define it as sat or asat. Categorically not available for definition. Categorically, that which is categorically available for definition is called vachaniya, nirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means that which cannot be categorically defined as sat or asat. Existent, independently existent, or completely non-existent, you cannot say. Therefore, it is anirvachaniya. If it is not sat. It is not sat, it is not asat. Sat asatvyam anirvachaniyam. Why it is not sat? If it is because in the wake of this jnanam, when gata jnanam takes place, the pot jnanam goes away. Therefore, it is not sat. At the same time, it is not asat. Because if it is asat, then we will not having the anubhava. We will not having the anubhava. The pot is available. It can store water. Utility is there. Anubhava is there. So we are experiencing the effect of that. Therefore, we cannot say that it is asat also. So, therefore, similarly, here also, these two shariram, these bodies which have come, we cannot say it has come out of nothing. We cannot say. This bodies, these bodies, we cannot say it came out of nothing. So avidya must be there. But that is really exist independently, that also we cannot say. Like the pot. So the karanam, which is avidya, it is anirvachaniya. So karana shariram, it is avidya rupam. It is mithya, it is anirvachaniya, it is not categorically available for definition. And also it is anadi. So anirvachaniyam anadi, not categorically available for definition. We cannot say this is sat. We cannot say it is asat. If you say karana shariram is asat, then this two shariram which has come out from the karanam, is it asat? It is available for your experience. You are using those two sharirams. You are using stula shariram very well. You cannot say it is sat also. You cannot say it to be sat. It doesn't exist also independently. That also you cannot say this because what exists is only is Brahma consciousness. So this Karana Shariram cannot have independent existence apart from Chaitanyam. Therefore, it is Anirvachaniyam. It is Anirvachaniyam. And when did it begin? That also you cannot say. Therefore, Anadi. Therefore, Anadi. So, this Anadi and Anirvachaniyam need to be understood. Avidya is Anirvachaniya and it is Anadi. There can be something which is Anirvachaniya but need not be Anadi. See, for example, Atma is. Atma is also Anadi. Vidya is Anadi, Maya is Anadi, doesn't have beginning. What about Atma? Does it have a beginning? Atma is that which exists absolutely. There's no point where Atma is not there. What exists is only Atma. Therefore, Atma is Anadi. You cannot say when it began. And Atma is, you cannot say Anirvachaniya. It is Nirvachaniya. It is Nirvachaniya because it exists. Therefore, you cannot say Anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya you can say only when their existence is between Sat and Asat. Sat, Asat, Asatbhyam, Anirvachaniyam. You cannot categorically say it as Sat. Sat means that which exists totally independent. Asat is that which doesn't really existing. So, avidya is neither. You cannot say it is Sat because if you say Sat, then Atma, which is also Sat, then become two Sat, that's a problem. We cannot say avidya is Asat because that is the karanam for the two shariram. So, therefore, if it is asat, then how can the karya can come into effect? The karya, how can this karya be produced, be available for manifestation? If karanam is not there, how can karya come? Therefore, we cannot say asat also. Therefore, this is in between. So, anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniyam anadi. Whereas atma is nirvachaniyam anadi. And avidya, this karana shariram, which is anadi, avidya, it is not differentiated, it is in unmanifest form, undifferentiated condition. Therefore, nirvikalpaka rupam. And this karana shariram, how do we know the karana shariram is there? This karana shariram can be known with reference to our anubhava in the sushupti, in sleep. In sleep also, it is not recognizable in sleep, but sleep has got, in sleep you have got some experience. That experience is not available for your experience in the sleep, but after the sleep it is available. In deep sleep, what happens? The Stula Shariram and the Karana Shariram, it goes back into Stula and Sukshma Shariram. Stula and Sukshma Shariram, they goes back into causal state. It goes into unmanifest. That is only for the time being. Every day we go into unmanifest form. And every day we come into manifest form. So it's a cycle. In fact, every day it happening. Every day and night this cycle happens. At the end of this Janma, then it goes unmanifest form, comes to manifest. That is a bigger cycle. So in deep sleep, no indriyas function, mind doesn't function, and no perception is available. But in the deep sleep, when you enjoy the sleep, when you wake up, then you say, I had a nice sleep. Who says that I've got nice sleep? Because Sthula Shariram not there, not available for your perception. Sukshma Shariram also not there. If Sukshma Shariram is there, that is mind is there, then if mind is active, then it is not sleep. Therefore, if mind is active, that is waking state. The mind is, even if it is partially active, it is called Swapna Avastha, sleep, dream state. You can call the state as a sleep only when mind is not there. But you say that after the sleep, I had a very nice sleep. Then who experiences sleep? So in Karanavastha, it is there. These two sharirams were available in the Karanavastha. Therefore, only the memory is when you wake up. So, therefore, it is really amazing. This it is there in Karanavastha. It is there in Avidya Avastha, Karanavastha. It is there. So therefore, this avidya can be understood with the help of this anubhava, this deep anubhava, sushupti anubhava. So that sushupti, in sushupti, In Sushupti, this you say, I slept deeply, I don't know anything. There is absence, complete absence of anubhava, and you say, I don't know anything. You don't remember anything in sleep. So that is complete ajnana. So that is, therefore, this ajnanam, which is the swarupam of avidya, that is experienced in sleep. So this avidya can be very well understand. It is not available for your recognition by the indriyas or the mind, but can be understood with this, with the help of this sushupti anubhava, and this how this avidya is swarupa ajnana rupena. So in sleep there is complete ignorance of one's true nature. One's true nature is completely forgotten in sleep. So swarupa ajnana. We say swarupa ajnanam. In deep sleep, swarupa ajnanam. Then, if knowledge has taken place, the Swarupa, so if Swarupa is there, then we get up, we wake up. When you wake up to the reality, that is called Jnanam. Swarupa Jnanam. When you wake up to the reality of what you are, who am I, that is Swarupa Jnanam. Jnanam of oneself. But this Jnanam, this Swarupa Jnanam not there, therefore Swarupa Ajnanam. Where in Avidya. And this Avidya is experienced or experienced or it is understood where in Anubhava, in Sushupti Anubhava. It is understood, not experienced, not experienced in that state, but when you wake up, you recall that Anubhava, you recall that experience. So, therefore, this Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep state, with reference to that only, we understand this Avidya, which is the Karana Shariram, which is avidya, which is this, which is avidya, which is swarupa ajnanam. Swarupa ajnanam. Swarupa ajnanam is ajnanam of one's swarupa. That is called swarupa ajnanam. That is then the definition. Swarupa sat swarupa ajnanam. Sat swarupa ajnanam. So sat swarupa ajnanam yata asti tat. So swarupa ajnanam. So that which is in the form of the cause of true shariram, which is in nirvikalpaka rupam, avidya rupam called avidya, that avidya, that avidya which is anirvachaniya, cannot be categorically defined, that which is anadi, and which is also characterized by the ignorance, ajnanam of everything, including your own nature, that is ajnanam, surupa ajnanam. So therefore, the Karana Shariram definition is complete. So in Ajnanam, in Avidya, there is complete ignorance. Ignorance of everything. In deep sleep state, you don't know, you don't have any knowledge. You don't have knowledge of your surrounding. You don't have knowledge of yourself also. There is complete ignorance. You cannot say Jnanam. If Jnanam is there when you wake up, you must be a Jnani. But you still continue to be a Jnani. Therefore, Ajnanam, complete Ajnanam, Swarupa Ajnanam, not only Swarupa Ajnanam, complete Ajnanam. Ajnanam of everything, including the Ajnanam of one's Swarupa is there in sleep. Therefore, Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. Sat is a Swarupa of the Atma, that is the nature. That is Ajnanam. That Jnanam is not there in sleep. Sleep is Avidya. And that Avidya is Anadi. It is Anirvachaniya. So Avidya Rupam. So Karna Shariram is in the form of Avidya. And it is Anirvachaniya. And it is the Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram. And it is Satswarupa Ajnanam in the form of ignorance of one's own nature. And it is Nirvikalpaka Rupam, doesn't have form. It exists in undifferentiated form because unmanifest. That is Karana Shariram. So now the definition is complete. The definition is complete. So this is what Karana Shariram. So Swarupa Ajnanam. Here one more point. Swarupa Ajnanam. When we say this avidya, the avidya can be divided into twofold. What are they? One is Vikshepa Shakti, other one is Avarana Shakti. Vikshepa Rupa Vidya, Avarana Rupa Vidya. Vikshepa Rupa Vidya, Avarana Rupa Vidya. This avidya, which is the Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram, there it represents the Vikshepa Rupa Avidya. That is this avidya which is which is from which the two bodies are projected. So, Vikshepa Rupa Avidya. Then this avidya, Swarupa Ajnanam. Swarupa Ajnanam is the jnanam of oneself is not known. There it is covered. Jnanam is covered. Jnanam is jnanam of the knowledge of one's true nature is not known. It is covered. Therefore, it is Avarana Shakti Rupa Vidya, veiling power. So, one's own nature is not known. It means there is a covering, there is a cover over this knowledge, that is avidya, that is Avarana Shakti Rupa Vidya. And from this avidya, the Vikshepa Rupa Vidya, that is the sharirams are projected. So, avidya is the cause. So, avidya is a cause for twofold things. One is covering the swarupa, the nature of oneself, in the form of ajnana. That is why it's called avidya, vikshepa rupa vidya. After covering, it projects into two shariram, vikshepa rupa vidya. This is in case of everything. You take the example of rajju, sarpa, snake, rope snake example. First, what I'm put on the rope? Rope you don't see. Rope knowledge is covered. Rope you don't see. That is called avaranam. Rope is not seen, therefore only rope is projected to be a snake. The snake is not there, it is snake doesn't exist. You cannot say it is exist. At the same time, you cannot say it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, then you will not be afraid of that. So for you, it is exist. It doesn't exist. No, absolutely no. That in the wake of jnanam that goes away. Therefore, anirvachaniya. That itself is anirvachaniya. When did it started? You cannot ask. It is anadi. It is doesn't have beginning. So this rope, it's covered by the snake knowledge for you. That is avaranam. And this, now rope first the rope has to be covered and it has to be projected. Projected in the form of a snake. That is vikshepa. So avidya is divided into two. One first thing is avaranam, the veiling factor, avarana shakti. Other one is projecting factor, which is vikshepa. So avidya has these two factors. Avidya has these two factors or two aspects. One is covering the atma and projecting anatma, the two shariram and the anatma. For this, which is the karanam, this avidya is the karanam, this ajnanam is the karanam. And that is called Karana Shariram. This avidya is called Karana Shariram. So avidya, which is the cause for this two shariram, that avidya, that is shariravat, therefore Karana Shariram. It is like a shariram, therefore Karana Shariram. Because it is avidya, therefore can be negated by vidya, by knowledge. Once a person gets knowledge, once he gains its swarupa jnanam, atma jnanam, then what will happen to this avidya, which is swarupa ajnanam? Ajnanam goes away. Therefore, ajnanam goes away. Therefore, the karana shariram also goes away. How does it goes away? Not immediately. Karana Shariram also will be resolved. The Sukshma Shariram and the Sthula Shariram and the Sukshma Shariram resolves into Karana Shariram, and the Karana Shariram, what happens? The Karana Shariram also, in the wake of Jnana, it is resolved. Because avidya is completely negated, so avidya is gone. This karanam, which is a source, which is a karanam for this janma, marana, the sharira, that also gone. That is called mukti, we say. So, this avidya, the avidya is the karanam. Therefore, this avidya to go, and this avidya to go jnanam. Because in the wake of jnanam, this goes away. Therefore, this avidya must be ajnana swarupam, swarupa ajnanam. It is swarupa ajnanam. So that's why therefore this atma, therefore this karana sharyam cannot be atma, because it is ajnanam. Ajnanam is karana shariram. So therefore only it is defined. Therefore it is distinct from atma. Atmanaha vyatiriktah iti. Therefore karana shariram is also not atma. Why? This is karana shariram is swarupa ajnanam. Swarupa is atma, chaitanya. In the wake of that jnanam, jnanam goes away. And therefore, when ajnanam goes away, that which is the karanam is also goes away. Therefore, if only when karana shariram is there, the other two sharirams will come. That is, janma is possible. Only when janma is there, all the vikaras are possible and maranam is possible. When karanam itself is not there, then how can there be maranam? How can there be janma? So that's why we call it is muktaha, is free from janma marana, is free from samsara. We say. So therefore, karana shariram is discussed to know that it is also not atma. One should not mistake karana shariram to be the atma. Okay, then this further it is discussed. What is discussed? This avastha trayam, the three avastha. The three avastha is also interesting. Three avastha is the three states of existence. This Stula Shariram exists in Jagrat avastha, the waking state. The waking state, it is available for our experience, for our anubhava. Then Sukshma avastha, that is Sushupti avastha, Swapna avastha and Sushupti avastha. Both are Sukshma. Swapna and Sushupti. Swapna is dream state, where Sukshma Shariram is available for our operation, for our Anubhava. Then in Swapna Avastha, in Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep, you are one with the Vidya, Karana Shariram. So, three Shariram, three states, enjoys three states. So that is going to be the next topic, Avastha Trayam. That we will see. We will see in the next class. So this is up to this Karana Shariram, the three Shariram, which is not Atma, is presented. Now Avastha Trayam is going to be presented. This Avastha Trayam, these three avasthas, only three avasthas are available. Therefore, one can confine Atma to any particular avastha. Atma cannot be confined to any avastha, which in fact it is free from any avastha. Every avastha, every state is of existence is because of Atma, and Atma cannot be confined to any state. Therefore, avastha also has to be discussed. Discussion for negation, not for appreciating. It is for negation, it is for understanding and negation. So this prakriya is called neti neti prakriya, not this, not this. Prakriya. So that prakriya is being adopted to present what Atma is. What Atma is and what Atma is not. What Atma is not has to be known because we have preconceived notion or idea about Atma that has to go for understanding Atma because Ajnanam has to go. In fact, no new Jnanam takes place. What takes place is the removal of Ajnanam because Atma is not something which is completely unknown. Atma is known. If it is something, yeah, a new knowledge, if it is something a new knowledge, then if it new, then Shastram cannot be the pramanam for it. Shastram as a pramanam for this jnanam is not producing a new jnanam. It is removing the ajnanam. So ajnana nivrittihi eva the shastrasya pramanam. Shastra pramanam is there only in removal of ajnana, not in creating a new jnana. Atma is known, it is misunderstood. So the removal of misunderstanding is the job of the Shastram, is the job of the Acharya. So it doesn't produce new jnana. Ajnana nivrittihi eva. Samsara nivrittihi. That ajnana has to go. Therefore, what Atma is not has to be known. When what Atma is not known, then what Atma is will be known. That is the prakriya, neti prakriya. That is what is being adopted here. Then the avastatrayam that we will discuss in the next class. We stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamaraya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ರುಚಿ.